You have been blessed with having multiple different interests, multiple different options. You might be hearing that and thinking, really? Because it seems like I'm getting pulled in all these different directions and I can't pick exactly which one to choose. And that is a frustration. That doesn't seem like a blessing to me. And in many ways, if I was in your position, and I was in your position at one point when I didn't know what it was that I wanted to choose, I didn't know what I wanted to pursue, I would have said the same thing. I would have said this is just frustration, but I promise you that having many different interests, being pulled towards many different paths, feeling that frustration right now is a clue that something is going on and there is something deeper within you, something that's more unique, a path that is meant for you. And I want to talk about this. Now, my name is Joel Hewley. I'm a philosopher. I am absolutely obsessed with vocations. If you've never heard of a vocation is your sacred calling. It's what you're born to do, the work that you are placed on this earth to pursue. And I help people to choose the right career path with conviction. In my work, it's why I'm here on places like YouTube, like Substack, like a podcast called the Career Archetypes Podcast. That's why I have this online community where I help people to choose the right career path by unearthing their very own career archetype. Because it's my deep belief that every single person in the world, they have a calling, they have something they're meant for, and it's about tapping into that, bringing that forward, walking and pursuing that calling in life. Otherwise you end up on your deathbed resenting it, regretting it. I mean, the philosophers of old talked about a life worth living. And I can't think of a better way to spend one's existence than pursuing the very thing that they were meant to pursue in this world. Now, you might already know that, even intuitively, you know that. I should be pursuing my calling. If I was pursuing my calling, everything would work itself out. But I can't right now. Because I'm in a job I don't like, I'm trying to go through these different interests and try to figure out which one is mine. One week, it's yoga instructor. The next week, it's tarot reader. The next week, it's musician, singer-songwriter. The next week, it's I want to give up on all of this and just make bank and go and chill overseas. And I get that. I get the wanting to not do the discernment and figuring out between these different paths, which one is yours. But when you're getting pulled in all these different directions, getting pulled towards learning music, creating and crafting musical beats versus, hey, I'm going to learn how to garden. Oh, I want to go and learn Tai Chi. And getting pulled in all these different directions. It can be really difficult to pinpoint what it is that you're up to. And there is this thread running through all of your different interests. If you have interests that seemingly don't fit or are even seemingly opposite, you're saying like, no, I don't understand how pursuing economics, whilst over here wanting to pursue deeper states of meditation, these two things, they don't work together. I would encourage you to go a level deeper. Because when we're drawn into different interests, there's a reason that they're attracting us in. They're pulling us. They're taking our attention. And saying, hey, over here, this relates to you in some way. And stronger interests that pull us in have more to say about our being than weaker interests. And so there are these intensities of interests. If you're someone that's super into analyzing films, and you're also really, really into fashion, then if you start to distill what's going on here, oh, I'm actually really, really into color. Okay, that's interesting. I thought these were two separate categories, but now I'm starting to see that I'm into color over here and color over here because I went through that particular subject domain and opened it up. And you can even imagine a surgeon, right, cutting something open, opening up the stomach, looking around, fixing it, right? For you, your different interests, they might not be the actual thing you're interested in on the surface. Okay, you're into movies. Okay. Are you into the director and their viewpoint? Are you into the actors? Are you into the script writing? Are you into the scene? Are you into the evolution of movie making throughout the ages? Are you into the equipment? Are you into the lighting? Which pieces are you really into? Are you into the storytelling? Oh, you're into the storytelling. Okay, well, this is interesting. So you're into the storytelling over here in the movies, and you're also into novels. And you've even thought about potentially pursuing writing your own novel. Which part? Is it the characters? Is it the environment? Is it the actual process of the craft of writing itself? Oh, okay, you're into storytelling over here, and that's really, really strong as well. Okay, that's interesting. So we have two interests, two separate categories that were originally pulling you, but you're actually being drawn to the same thing underneath. This is something that I call decoding your interests. Something that really no one does. And yet it's so powerful because it begins to inform you of the elements within the interests itself. And they will tell you what you're being drawn towards. What's even more interesting is that when you start to go over, oh, I've got 100 interests. Okay, let's break them all down. Every single one. What do we have? Oh, we've probably got like 5 to 10 essential core, this is what I'm being pulled in towards. And when you start to break things down like this, you'll start to notice that these interests that are pulling you in different directions are only pulling you in different directions because you haven't identified what is at the heart of them. The heartbeat. Right? The heartbeat. You haven't found that yet. When I was starting to understand my own personal career archetype, which is philosopher, I had many different interests, many different directions I could go. But as I started to look at all my different interests, particular themes started to emerge, particular obvious things that I didn't even know was happening. Oh, I do kind of question a lot of things. Yeah. And everyone that heard me say that, like, yeah, of course you do. Of course. You do that all the time. And here I am, just completely unaware of it. You will have these things going on too if you do not know your path yet, which speaks to something deeper. You're getting pulled in different directions because you don't understand the core of who you are yet. You don't really understand it and feel it. You haven't sat in that. Now, as you start to become acquainted with the essence of things, it's often going to bring up areas of pain because there's a reason that you haven't pursued this properly. It can be because of what someone said, someone in high school, teacher, oh yeah, you can't really do that. That's not really going to work in the real world. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Boom. Repressed. So there can be all these reasons why the essence of your interests have not been pursued properly. But you'll notice that there's a part of you that doesn't care. It wants to go and pursue these things. It wants you to take them on, take them seriously. Now, here's another thing that happens when people get pulled in different directions. Is that they're getting pulled in different directions, and it's a distraction from what is actually going on underneath. Rather than face the pain, we can oftentimes jump up into the world of abstraction. Jump into the world of possibilities. Because maybe the very thing that you want to pursue is painful to think about. Because one, it might disrupt your life. Two, you might have to completely reorient yourself. Three, you have to feel that, right? Staring at the thing that you actually want to do and saying, I want to do that, and naming it, that can be really hard. It's one of the reasons why most people don't do it. I don't want to do that. You don't want to be one of those people. You want to be someone that faces that and then starts to walk their path in the world. But that's one of the reasons that people get pulled in different directions. Not because any of those interests are possibilities, even though they seem like that. They seduce us into thinking this is potentially an option. Because we are escaping the thing, right? The thing, the calling, the vocation. So you want to put yourself on note that, hey, every time I start thinking about these different possibilities, I want to start looking at them properly. Am I avoiding something? Am I trying to run away from something? I remember someone that said that one of her possibilities, one of the potential paths that she could choose and walk down was being a really successful marketer. It could be in a business, could be with, starting her own thing, one of these, agencies. She could do that. She knew this of herself. And she said, this is a possibility that I could do. Now, the interesting thing is that this was actually completely clouding what she was really meant to do, which was to express and speak on relationships. This idea of relationships was there, but she didn't want to face that. And so instead, she jumped into, I'm going to keep this possibility alive and active, and I'm even going to think of it seriously. Right? We delude ourselves a lot of the times with these different options as being serious contenders. They're not really serious contenders. You know they're not really serious contenders. And I'm not saying that they're not serious contenders in the world of being able to materialize them. One of the reasons that they become options is because you already know that you can materialize that thing. You can make that happen, which is why it becomes a viable option. I can make that real. But what I'm getting at is on the soul level, the deeper parts of you. That's not what you want to do. To go out there and push out someone else's product, someone else's services, that's not what she wanted to do. Truly underneath. She had something to say. She had a service to bring forth into the world to help other people. And she was denying that by playing in the realm of possibility. Erase it. Get rid of it. So we have two things going on here. We have, on the one hand, people get pulled towards different interests. because they're not recognizing the elements within these different interests that they're getting pulled towards. And so they're feeling fractured, scattered. When if you smash these different interests and pull out, right, distill the essence of them, you'll start to find that you're getting pulled in many of the same directions. And it's just about taking and distilling the essence and bringing it into a new form. People get really interesting, creative, unique paths when they break down their interests and they distill the core components of them. You know, it's interesting. I help people to unearth their very own career archetype so that they can choose the right path. They can know it with this deep sense of conviction. And I'll draw on wisdom and learnings from different fields all the time to try to get someone to their career archetype. I might pull from Jungian psychology. Okay, maybe if we frame it and give you a concept around the conscious and the unconscious mind, then you have that framing around things and that will help to understand it. I might pull from the astrological landscape. Oh, okay, so you've got this tension between Leo and Scorpio, and Leo wants to shine. Scorpio is like, I do not want to shine. There's a tension there. We need to find a liberating energy. I might pull from biography. Okay, your life is unfolding in a linear way. Here's where you are at in the story. Here's what's going to happen if you continue on like this. How are we going to change the storyline? At a mythic level, what does this change look like? Right, so I'll be drawing on these different interests. I'm not sitting here and saying like, ooh, should I be an astrologer? Should I be a biographer? Should I be a coach that helps people to work through their story? Should I be a Jungian analyst? No. Because at the base, I'm a philosopher, I'm asking questions. At the core, I'm asking a question to you, which is, it's kind of a funny one. What are you doing with your life? And as I said that, I said it's kind of a funny one, but it's funny in like a Greek tragedy sense for some. Like, I'm doing nothing of substance. And so by pulling out the essence of these different fields, I've been able to help people to unearth their very own career archetype. And this is what happens all the time when people will look at different titles, they'll see different subject domains, and they'll be like, okay, I'm going to fit myself, I can talk myself into that. Why? You don't even know which pieces of you fit well with that. You need to break it down. Is it actually the subject, or is it something else? It's probably something else. And so on this side, we have different interests, and we look for the core thread of those interests. And by revealing that, you'll find that you're being drawn to very specific areas that you probably are not aware of. Instead, most people, like I said, they look on the surface. And on the other side, we have people that will play in the realm of possibilities to escape the actual thing. Maybe you know what it is already. Maybe it's like, hey, this acting thing, this YouTube thing, this tarot reading thing, that's probably yours. And you're like, oh no, I don't really want to face that. Instead, I'm going to think about something up here. Something that's not the thing itself. So if you are getting pulled in all these different directions, start to discern your interests. Start to break them down, decode them, strip them, lay them out in front of yourself and say, like, what is recurring here? Because you can always bring them back together in a coherent form. What you can't do is you can't cut yourself into 5 and pursue 5 different paths. You have one life, you can pursue more than one thing, but it's all central to the core energy of the path. I see a lot of people out there, and they say you've got to pick one thing, and they make it as though you have to pick one subject, one topic. It's not true. It's not this straight, singular, one-pointed arrow. You can think of it more like the sun, shedding rays in a 360 fashion to everyone. That's a closer analogy of getting to this energy and being able to shine light from that energy in all the different expressive ways of your being. So if you're experiencing this, break down your interests. I promise you'll get so much discernment and awareness of what is going on with you and your career path. What is going on with you and all these different possibilities that are out there. And if you'd like to learn more, I help people to unearth their very own career archetype. And I do this by walking them through this 8-week process. And we look at Jungian psychology, astrology, biography, interest areas, psychological hurdles, feedback loops, and understanding those feedback loops. We also look at your life mythology. What is the myth running underneath? And then after we've unearthed your career archetype, by the way, that moment is really the highlight of the process, where someone comes into an awareness of what their calling is, something they've been spending their entire lives trying to find, and coming into like, oh, this is what I'm meant to be doing. And so after we do this, then we start to make practical, real steps. How do we make this real in the world? Because we're in the modern world, you need finances to live, you need a lifestyle that you love. And so we need to figure this all out and make sure that the soul is leading the way. And so if you are interested in that, then go ahead and click the link below.